You can start it now, ma'am.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Shilpi Agrawal. I have 18 plus years of experience in education. I I was a maths teacher and I am a maths teacher, but now I'm working with Kips Learning Private Limited as a managing editor. I work on I handle their maths department. And apart from this, I have also authored many maths books and worked with many companies, the content development companies like Eschan, Orange Education, and Arya Education, and I've also worked on the print media, the publishing media, digital media assessments, and everything. But yes, I started my career as a teacher, so I am teacher by heart, and I taught the students of IIT JEE in FITZI, in many of the coaching institutes, and so this is a brief about me. And coming to the current topic, just let me share my screen. I hope the screen is visible to you all.
Yes.
So my current topic is learning beyond books. You know, many times when I'm in education, I have been teaching the students I even taught the students who were in KG. I taught the students who were in the 11th, 12th, and even those who are aspiring to be an IIT JEE aspirants also. So, but what I like is that learning is not about scoring marks. Learning is not about just getting something or scoring something or like that, right? But before moving to the main concept, I just would like to ask any of you that how many of you learned to ride a bicycle from using a book when we were kids? Or you can say that there are so many videos available on the YouTube regarding the uh, driving a car. So how many of you have learned driving car using those YouTube videos or those booklets what comes along with when you purchase a car? Have anyone does that? I think we all learned all these things like riding a bicycle, driving a car, by falling, by trying again, and by balancing through experience, not through a chapter. So that is the idea behind the learning beyond books. When learning moves from memorization to meaning, from pages to people, and from facts to feelings. Education is not just about memorizing facts from the textbooks. It is basically about igniting curiosity, fostering creativity, and preparing children for a rapidly changing world. As I have written, that while books illuminate paths, experience builds the bridges to true mastery. I think you got my idea what I would like to convey. So let's dive in and discover how to unlock the full potential behind the confines of the classrooms. But before that, do you know what does the learning beyond books mean? It means that providing children with transforming experiences that help them see themselves and the world themselves differently, right? It is about encouraging curiosity, allowing the children to ask, explore, and challenge ideas rather than passively just accept them. Then experience. They should experience each and everything. Someone comes and say, I am a math educator from a very long time. I do maths and science and everything. So, when teachers and many of the principals and many of the parents come and ask me that, ma'am, maths, a child cannot do maths. It cannot, why they cannot? It is, ma'am, it is a pen and paper thing. No, it is not only a pen and paper. Maths is all around. So each and every subject, it's all around. It's learning by doing, seeing, and feeling. So everything a child must experience and making the knowledge tangible and memorable. So also by connection. The fourth point, most important point, is that connection. To building a connection between what they have learned and what is their exact experience. So basically the idea is we should work in such a way so that we can connect the textbook concepts to the real life situations that matter in their daily lives. It allows them to understand the relevance and application of what they are learning. Then, it allows reflection. Most important is that the children should reflect what they learned. It allows them to think deeply. We should guide the children to think deeply about what they have learned and how it shapes their understanding, promotes true lasting experience, right? So, as Benjamin Franklin has mentioned, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So, this quote basically captures the complete essence of learning beyond books, right? Now, we know what is learning beyond book. Now, the most important thing is that why we must move beyond the book. Many of the children come and ask me, ma'am, this is all available on the Google. Why should we read it? Yeah, exactly. That thing came in my mind, that why a child should read something what is already available in the book. But still, we do force them to read because the content, what is given in the book, is somewhere related or connected to the real life. So children today grow up in a world of instant answers, but not the instant understandings. They can search anything, yet the wisdom is required more than the quick facts. When we say, when we are in schools or in classrooms, we always say that yes, each and every material, each and every information is available on the Google, but do you know which information is relevant and which is not? That will come after the understanding, after the experience, after the more understanding that which is a reliable source and which is not a reliable source, right? So basically, we should often focus on the real life, real learning, which builds the meaning, character, and capability of a child. What my idea when I thought of this particular topic is that education today must focus on understanding over memorization, application over repetition, test life skills over test scores, thinking over copying. So the key point here is that we need to shift the focus to cultivate the life skills, problem solving, and the ability to think independently, not just copying the information. If you see, I have mentioned a quote by W.B. Yeats that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. That's what actually it nicely captures the idea that education should be about igniting a fire, not just filling a pail with facts, right? But then what is the learning spectrum? What we feel is that when a child is in class 5, learning about the nouns, pronouns, learning about certain things which is there in the textbook, is their learning spectrum? No, that is not a learning spectrum. The learning spectrum is where they know something, they move to do something, and they grows into understand and reflect what they have learned, right? So the learning spectrum includes the book learning, experiential learning, reflective learning, and lifelong learning. Then it starts basically with building a foundation of knowledge and the core concepts that comes under the book learning section. And when they moves on to the explore or discover something, then they are moving towards the experiential learning, and which leads to the critical analysis and deep understanding. That is the reflective learning. Ultimately, it becomes a lifelong process of continuous growth and adaptation. So the idea is children don't just learn science and maths when they follow this, when they follow this building of bridge model, they also discover the teamwork, patience, problem solving, and the pride of creation, right? Now, how the real life, these are certain examples that how a real life classroom beyond the books should look like. They should go beyond the textbooks and lectures. Children should become the active explorers, not just the passive exam takers. Like teacher has come in the classroom, they taught something, they wrote something, they just went to the classrooms and vomit something. No, it is very important that they should connect their subject, each and every subject, to the life outside the classrooms. Learning feels like discovery, not just information delivery. So we can have, these are the certain examples, like you can have market day, because when you are creating market day, you are allowing a child to negotiate, you are allowing a child to do a budgeting, communication, empathy is coming when they are interacting with the customers, when they are managing resources. So many things are coming up when they are doing a market day, when you are conducting a market day in the classrooms. So similar way, you can also conduct like brain mapping. You can also allow the children to dance. I even, in my one of the workshops, in my one of the workshops, I made 180 teachers dance with me. And then I asked that when you are dancing, what you felt? Most of the teachers came and said that, ma'am, we felt very energetic. Just imagine when they are feeling so energetic, how energetic the teachers would, the children will feel. And apart from that, you can connect your dance movements using the with angles, with geometry, with the line, with the ray. I'm making an angle like this. It is something. It is making a different sort. So basically the idea is again that whatever the children are doing, they should connect it with the real life experience. Again, there are different ways. I will be now taking you one examples that how you can make learning beyond your books. So this is one example of learning from experience. If you remember, we have all read the story of a broken pot. Like it's a timeless tale of a water bearer who carried two pots, one impeccably crafted, the other bearing a noticeable crack. Right. So what was happening whenever a water bearer used to fill both the pots and used to carry it home, the pot which was good, it used to be intact and the water used to be complete full. It used to be full of water. But by the time the person used to reach home, the broken pot used to there was no water in the broken pot. So day after day, the crackpot use felt a deep sense of shame and laminating that its inadequacy is as it leaked precious water along the path. Yet one day, the wise bearer revealed a profound truth, and he pointed to the vibrant path behind them, and now bursting with the beautiful flowers nourished by the nourished by the leaks of the crackpot, and said, "You see," the bearer said gently, "you have been watering these beautiful flowers all alone." So the idea is that what this story reminds us, that our imperfections often create unseen beauty and unexpected opportunities for growth. We should emphasize that mistakes should be seen, that mistakes are the opportunity for growth, not source of shame. We should allow the children to face and overcome their challenges naturally, builds resilience, which is essential for their continuous growth, right? This is one of the best way to where the learning can happen beyond the books. Learning from the people, you should allow your students, your children, to read a lot of things about our ancestors, about our scientists, about our notable famous personalities. If you know that I have, this is one of those famous story which comes always in my mind, that of Thomas Edison and his mother. The story shows that, this story particularly shows that how encouragement shapes the destinies. When Edison was very young, his teachers used to call him adult, that is unfit for school, and his mother withdrew him and said that, "Child, you are not slow. You are Thomas. You are not slow. You are just different." And that belief shaped his destiny. Later, Edison said that my mother was the making of me. So every teacher, parent, and a friend or the friend has the power to inspire the learning for beyond the syllabus. What is important is that for a true learning, unconditional encouragement, deep empathy, and inspiring examples are often far beyond the confines of a classrooms. So as a teacher, I always used to start my classroom with one of the narratives, maybe through experience, through people, through my surroundings, or anything, with my children, and just motivate them that yes, you all can do maths. Maths is not at all a difficult subject. Because if we ourselves as a teacher start this thing that, oh, please study this topic, this is very tough, that will not make sense. Again, the learning from nature, so many things are available. Butterflies tell you how to shine, how to smile. Tree explains you the ode of patience. It demonstrates that patience, they grow slowly but steadily over many years. Rivers, they keep flowing, the flow with persistence, carving their path through the obstacles. And the power of teamwork, work together in incredible teamwork to accomplish amazing facts as colony. The hard work that comes by looking at the ant, such a small ant, and they can do many wonders. So the ant colony, if you have seen how beautiful it is. So basically it is, we can find inspiration and valuable lessons in the natural world around us. We can apply these timeless principles to our own lives. And nowadays, after COVID, after this pandemic, our classrooms turned virtual, right? Many of the teachers thought that technology will replace them. No, but technology can never replace the teachers. But yes, teachers who use technology will replace those who don't, right? So technology has transformed how we learn, but it must be used with intention and purpose, not as a replacement for human connection and critical thinking. We should allow the children to explore virtually. We should allow the children, we can take them to virtual museum tours and science simulations using AR and VR programs. We can bring the distant places and abstract concepts to the life, to them. We can allow the children to do a lot of programming and robotics, which allow them to think critically and which will help them in developing the computational skills and creative problem solving in the engaging and hands-on ways. Children can express their own ideas, their point of views, their what is going in their mind through the multimedia, combining text, images, audio, video, and communicate powerfully and beautifully. So basically, the idea is that how the learning can take place through technology also. Then learning values and empathy. I remember a story and I really liked it. I'll narrate it. Okay, just 2 minutes of time. That a starfish. A boy was throwing a stranded starfish back into the sea. A man said, "Why bother? There are thousands. So why do you bother? There are thousands. How many of starfish will you keep throwing in the water again?" Then he says that is okay. I made a difference to one. I will try to make more difference to others. So the idea is that education without empathy is incomplete. True learning isn't how much we know, it is how much good we do with what we know. Learning beyond books means learning to care. So compassionate learning will come when purpose guides learning, when there is empathy in education, when knowledge into goods and learning, we allow the children to care. The idea, again, when we are teaching the values, when we are teaching the empathy, the idea is to make a good citizen, right? Then learning by doing, all is that hands-on learning. When I started cooking, when I got married, I didn't know how to cook. Nothing I knew. I started reading a book, but then I got a recipe book for myself and I started doing it. But still, sometimes I used to add sugar in place of salt. Sometimes salt is more because they had mentioned 1.5 teaspoon, but I forgot that we are 2 people and have to use only half a teaspoon. So the cooking also didn't came through the recipe booklet. I got the idea, I experienced it, I, literally I made disasters in the kitchen and then I learned. And today my husband says I'm a very good cook. So many of the lessons, come only by doing, teamwork, leaderships, and the problem solving. So we should encourage the experiential learning through field works, through projects, volunteers, and all. We should include STEM and creativity in learning, When we combine the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, the learning becomes both logical and beautiful, engaging both hemispheres of the brain. It highlights that these three examples I have shown you, the geometry and art, science and theater, fractions and music. These highlights that how integrating the art can make the learning more engaging and impactful. Geometry through art, where children discover mathematical principles, fraction through music, where they discover the musical beats and fractions, times and pattern, where science through theater by storytelling and model making. So the idea is, the key message is that combining STEM subject with the arts can make learning more logical, beautiful, and memorable for children. As we are moving forward, what I feel, what is our role as teacher or parents? So basically, we are not just the expert on the stage who's standing and speaking something. Now, the teachers have, rather than the teachers, we have become the facilitators. We are more like the friendly guides, walking with our children every step. Our role has evolved from being the sole provider of information to becoming a guide and a mentor who facilitates the learner. We no longer simply deliver the content, but rather create the experience that ignite the curiosity and empower children to discover their own path. Our new normal role is to facilitate learning through questioning, exploring, encouraging the creativity, collaborations, and building the confidence. We should celebrate the children's mistake as stepping stone. We should say them that, yes, you got this much. Next time you will move on to the next step, right? And model the lifelong learning and intellectual humility. This shift will allow us to walk alongside our children and support them in their learning journey rather than just lecturing them. Right? So basically, what are the life lessons beyond the books? Apart from the life lessons, the key life lessons beyond academics, beyond the books, is to shape their characters and define the future success. Right? Things like we will shape the children, we will shape the leadership, empathy, and resilience in our children. Leadership is discovered through community projects. Empathy is by understanding diverse perspectives, helping their struggling classmates, and trying to understand different perspectives. Resilience is built by facing failures, learning from mistakes. So basically, education should be isn't just about mastering the academic subjects. It is about self-discovery and learning to navigate an unpredictable world, right? The four C's in action. When we move beyond when the learning move beyond the education, the four C's in action comes in the action. What are the four C's? You know, nowadays we are talking a lot about NEP, NCF. They also talk about four C's. What are these four C's? The four C's are critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. These skills are very much essential for success in the rapidly changing world. Critical thinking involves the analyzing information, evaluating sources, and making informed decisions in the complex situations. Creativity is about transferring ideas into innovations and seeing the possibilities where others sees the problems. Communication is very important. It is about expressing ideas with confidence and clarity across multiple mediums and audiences. Collaborating is about solving the problems together. respecting diverse perspectives, and leveraging the collective strength. So the future belongs to those who can think beyond the obvious. That is, mastering the forces will help us to do just so. Right? So that's what I would like to convey about. But what your journey begins now. Now, as a teacher, as we conclude our exploration of learning beyond books, remember that transformation doesn't happen overnight. Every great journey begins with a small single step. That is, start small by choosing one new concept to try in the next lesson. Small steps build the momentum. Collaborate with your fellow educators, with your fellow teammates to share the experiences and support each other's growth. Continuously reflect on what works for your children and be willing to adapt your approach as needed. Sometimes it happens that what works in your situation might not work in my situation, but still that is how we learn. As Nelson Mandela has mentioned, that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, right? So I will emphasize that the future of education is in the hands of dedicated educators like yourselves. Inspire learning that goes beyond the textbooks and shape young minds for generations to come. The future of education lies in your hands, teachers. Go forth and inspire learning that extends far beyond the confines of any textbooks. Before moving towards the end, I just would like to share lessons live in stories, not just in schools, in open skies, not classroom doors. Books may end, but learning never does. It lives in life in all of us. This poem highlights how lessons are found in the world around us, not just the textbooks and schools. It is a lifelong journey, not confined to the walls of idea. It reinforces this idea, suggesting that we should teach children to engage with and learn from the broader tapestry of life, not just the printing pages. These thoughts will leave so in the end, I would like to say, let's not just teach children to read books. Let's teach them to read life. Right? In the end, I would like to say thank you all for being here today and for your engagement throughout the presentation. I hope you leave with is the importance of the continuous learning and personal growth. No matter where you are in your career or life, there is always more to discover and new skills to develop. So, as the saying goes, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying, right? So embrace that childlike curiosity, stay hungry for knowledge, and keep pushing yourself to the new heights. With that, I would like to say thank you again for your time and attention. Goodbye, teachers. If any queries are there, I'm open to answer. Okay, then. Bye-bye. Happy teaching, happy learning. And please, I would like, it will be good if you can share some your views or your perceptions on today's presentation, and which will give me also some insights. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.